Hey, everybody, it's your friendly neighborhood gaming editor, Gordon Holmes, here with your Survivor exit interview for episode 5 of Survivor 43. That's a lot of numbers. A couple quick orders of business. First of all, we are back in the office, so I do have dress shoes on. Also, if you have anything to say, let us know how you feel about the episode, about this interview. What are you going to be for Halloween? We want to know. What are you giving away for Halloween? Do you give away the big size bars? Those are the best families. We had a family that gave out hot dogs. They cooked hot dogs and gave them out. And Kool-Aid. It was awesome. Anywho, that's neither here nor there. But if you use the comment section, remember, be nice to each other, be nice to the contestants, and be nice to me. If you'd like to get a hold of me, if you'd like to ask me a question, Twitter is the best way to do that. That's at Gordon Holmes on Twitter. If you'd like to watch these videos on X1, just say Survivor, the Xfinity voice remote that takes you to a destination, lets you watch full episodes, learn about the cast and crew, and also watch all these videos as soon as they're posted on YouTube. And finally, like this video, subscribe to the channel. It does us a huge favor. I super appreciate it. And with that said, let's see what Gio has to say about last night's blindside. Gio, welcome to my hangout, sir.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me over.
Honor, it's nice, right? Have a snack. Feel free to kick your feet up. We don't mind. I got a lot to talk to you about. Okay, so kicking off last week, you felt like you were on top of the tribe, and yet at the last minute, it seemed like the vote went from Cassidy to Lindsay. What was the argument made to go for Lindsay instead of Cassidy?
So I wanted Cassidy out from the very beginning because we had a lot of disagreements, but we actually at the last minute we decided to switch the vote from Cassidy to Lindsay right before going to tribal and put one vote on Cassidy in case anything were to happen or she were to play the shot in the dark, you know, it wouldn't be me because I mean, from day one, I knew I was in the bottom. I know like a lot of people think that I thought I was on top. No, I was freaking out every single day. I feel like every day I was like, I had to look for, if I saw a stone, I had to flip it just because it could be an idol on the red. I need to protect myself. Every tree that I walk past, I climb to see if I can find an idol to protect myself. But though people seemed like I was on top or people thought that I thought I was on top, I knew I had shots coming my way, but I had to trust the people that I was working with and hoping that they would like stick with me, like Carla and Ryan. You know,
right? But what exactly was the argument made to go for Lindsay instead of Cassidy?
Carla's the one that decided at the last minute and said, you know what, Gio, no, Carla told Ryan to tell me that if we are gonna be working together, the three of us, it was like half an hour before we went to tribal. If we're gonna be working together, then we should like, instead of voting out Cassidy, we should vote out Lindsay tonight. So that way, and then we can vote out Cassidy next time. And I said, oh I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, long as it's not me.
That's exactly what I said. I was like, as long as it's not me going home, I just don't want to be the one going home. You know, I just want to stay here as long as possible. And that was the end of the conversation because the next thing you know, we have to be go to tribal council.
Okay. So your name obviously did come up last night. In hindsight, was there anything that happened that could have tipped you off that you were in danger?
Yeah, people were very comfortable. Like Cassidy was super comfortable. We had a plan that we were pretending to be, that it was gonna be Ryan that night. And that's the thing though, like when you're playing Survivor, you are over here saying, okay, you know what? I can't be too paranoid and I can't question things too much because if I question things too much, what if they change their mind? What if they say, you know what, Gio, it was gonna be Ryan, but now it's gonna be you. But it was gonna be me regardless anyway. But I was like, have I known more or if I would have had more information, I probably would have fought harder to stay and not pretend because there was a lot of pretending going on. It was me pretending that I was safe, me pretending that it wasn't me, or me pretending that it was gonna be Cassidy, but I didn't want to show her that it was gonna be Cassidy, obviously, because we're like, okay, it's gonna be Cassidy, so we cannot be too paranoid because then she's comfortable right now. If she's comfortable, just let her be comfortable. So, but that also, like at the same time, I was like, she is too comfortable. Like, you know, like why is she too comfortable? Why is she just sitting there? So it's like all these things that were going through my head, but it's so hard. I mean, because you only get to know what you know. On the show, you only see what you see. When you're watching the show, you see everybody's point of views. But when you're just there, whatever little bit of information you have, that's all you have. Especially with me coming from a journey, I didn't get a chance to talk to anyone. I came from the journey and like half an hour later, let's go to tribal council. So stuff. Yeah.
Now, speaking of that journey, you came home with the knowledge of power, which has a very unfortunate past and that it hasn't been used lately. So I guess my question for you is, the knowledge of power, do you think it's cursed?
Have you been waiting for this
I have.
moment?
This light has been on for a good 20 minutes. My battery's dead now. Worth it. Totally worth it.
Yeah, so I mean, the knowledge is about. I don't know, man. I wanted to be the first person using it. I'm not gonna lie; it was a dream come true for me to get anything, especially after spending 11 days looking for an idol and not finding anything. But it probably is, man, because I mean, I don't think that was the reason why I went home. I think I was a sitting duck at that point. I think I came into the competition being in the bottom already, and I just had to do everything I could to stay as long as possible. And I was like pulling all the tricks out of my hat, trying to see if somebody bites, if somebody says, you know what, I like Gio, let's work with Gio instead. But the only thing I can do now is be grateful that I play the game.
We do a word association here to get to know your tribe mates a little bit better. I'll give you someone's name, give you the first word, a couple words that pops in your head. And I know, so much pressure. I didn't come here to go easy on you, Gio. Let's start off with Carla.
Oh my gosh, why are you doing this? Okay, so backstab.
Lindsay.
Strategic.
Ryan.
Brother.
James.
Maybe uncle.
Okay. Your whole family out there. That's nice. Cassidy.
I'm gonna just use this word because it was used against me. I'm gonna say sassy.
Okay. And since you would not disagree, and since you spent some time with them, let's try Jesse.
Calculated.
Okay. And we'll finish off with Janine.
Oh, I love Janine. Sweetest.
Okay. Did she give you any clue what happened to her chin?
I feel bad for her. I was like, oh, if you're okay, are they abusing you over there? I mean, like, you can blink twice if something's wrong. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like, she was pretty beat up. I saw
that. Carla and James seem like stone cold killers, man. Was it a situation where you didn't appreciate it till you got out of the game, or help me understand those two better?
For me, so I'm not gonna lie, because Carla and I had a lot of beautiful moments, and it did kind of like hurt me a little bit leaving the game. We connected pretty well. She was like, you know, you're LGBT, I'm LGBT, you're Latino, I'm Latino. And although like I didn't want to go into the game wanting to work with people just because of their sexuality or their race, I wanted to just play the game based on their heart, which is still crazy to say that on Survivor. But you know, but we had a pretty good connection. We sat there, we like cried a couple of times, and they didn't really show that much from her side and from our side. But at the end of the day, like when she decided to not work with me and take me out instead, I did feel some type of way, you know, because I was like, gosh, like all the conversations we had about like being friends and pretty much family, and we can visit each other after the game, and you're welcome to this, you're welcome to that. But hey, you know what? It's part of the game. It's Survivor, and she did what she had to do. That was her game, and I respect that. It did hurt a little bit, but now I'm over it, and I can see that, you know, there's no rule against whatever they did on Survivor. So they're still on the game, and they're still playing it, and they're doing a pretty good job. The world loves them, so good for them. I'm happy for them.
We love you too, Gio.
Oh, thank you.
I was knock my earbuds out. Let's stop. Whap. So you spent time with Jesse and Janine. Did they give you any insight on what's going on with their tribes?
Yeah, a little bit. We didn't really get a chance to talk much because it was kind of like that's too much going on with this disadvantage. Yeah, so I know I learned from Janine that she was a previous alternate before, and she was the smallest. She's obviously the smallest person in her tribe, and her and I connected pretty well because of that. You know, I was like, oh, I'm in the bottom because, well, I wanted to lie to them and tell them that I was in the bottom, thinking that I wasn't completely in the bottom. But I was like, yeah, I'm in the bottom, and I'm here to get advantage. Hopefully, they can say feel bad for me and allow me to have the advantage. But they also came here to play the game as hard as I did, so they decided to risk their votes as well. And I learned that she was pretty cool. She was very sweet, and she might want to work with me if we get into a merge. With Jesse, I don't know, like he seems like a nice guy, but he was very calculated with the answers that he was giving me, and I was like, he sounds very strategic and calculated, and I don't know if I don't know, this one's gonna be kind of hard to crack if we go to the merge. And I was like, I have to be careful with this person. Like my gut feeling was telling me be careful,
Okay.
but I never got a chance to play with him, unfortunately.
It's interesting you talk about going out there and think you'd be on the bottom and people want to play with you, but you ended up with one of the more solid number twos in the game with you and Ryan. It seemed like rock solid. Is that some kind of solace you take away from the game, knowing that you were able to form that strong of alliance?
I mean, Ryan and we became very good friends. We were like brothers on the game. I think that might have intimidated Carla a little bit too, because of she probably looked at us like number one, number two, and that could have possibly been also like one of the reasons why I had to be taken out. But you know what? I was on the game, and I don't regret the relationships that I formed with people, and I don't regret the way that I play my game either, because at that moment it made sense for me. You know, having this relationship with Ryan made sense for me. Having the relationship that I had with Carla and trusting her made sense for me, and I can't really speak anything negative about that.
Yeah. Now the merge is right around the corner. Was there any talk of what Coco would do heading into a merge?
I had a plan.
Was everybody on board with it?
Yeah, I was like, I was so happy too. I was like, I have this advantage. It's like a dream come true. I spent 11 days looking for an idol, and I finally have something. And my plan was to go into the merge, reconnect with Janine, and see, and like get information and try to find a crack somewhere and see if we can take someone else out. Because at this point, to our knowledge, we have two tribes that are working against us, and it's just us. If they wanted to work together, they could easily just take us out one at a time. So for me, I was like, we need to make it to the merge, and this knowledge is power. I need to find out who has an idol over there and try to like take it away from them. But that was my plan, and see if and I shared that with Carla, a little bit of that, and Ryan as well. But it obviously, it didn't work out that way. But good for them. They're still in the game, and I'm still rooting for Coco.
Now, Gio, you struck me as somebody who might have trouble surviving in a 6-person tribe. But once you hit that merge, you could have just soared. So it's not even a question. It just kind of breaks my heart a little bit to see you go like one before people drop their buffs.
And I agree with you. Like, so it was very hard for me because, like I said, I was at the bottom from day one, and I was scared. Every single day, I was scared to do anything, even challenges. I'm like, I cannot mess anything up on a challenge. I have to be as good as possible, because they already look at me as the weakest link. And now I don't want that to be an excuse for them to try to take me out. And so it's very scary. So I just wanted to make it to the merge where people didn't depend on me to win. So I just wanted to make it to the merge and be like, okay, now this is my moment. This is my time for me to go for it and show the world, like, you know what, I got what it takes, and I can win challenges, and I don't have to be scared anymore, But like I said, like I didn't make it that far, but,
No. Gio, I know today's a crazy busy day for you. I want to thank you so much for your time. Last question: Did they let you keep the advantage?
I can't say that. No, actually, no. I wish I had it. I would have framed it.
All right, well, Gio, thank you so much for your time, man.
Thank you so much for talking to me, Gordon.